Hi, I'm Non from My Authentic Style, and this channel is dedicated to helping you find your authentic style. In this video, I'll be discussing the dramatic essence, what it is, how it can be expressed, and how to tell if you have it. But first, I think it's important to fully understand just what a style essence is. Please note, for body type analyses, I use the Kibbe system of body typing. For essence analyses, I'll be using both the Kibbe and the Kitchener. I'm adding the Kitchener system as I think it's both more comprehensive and intuitive, and I've had no issues with using the two systems together. In fact, I think they complement each other. So, a style essence is different from a body type. The body type is based on a person's body geometry, and identifying it helps a person to know their best clothing lines and their best styles so that they always look their best. An essence is less tangible. It's based on a person's embodiment and personal expression, and identifying it helps a person know their inner stylistic character so that they always look like themselves, or in a word, harmonious. Essence, by virtue of how intangible it is difficult to describe. Like class and grace, it's difficult to pinpoint, but you know it when you see it, and it's glaringly obvious when it's missing. A person dressed in a way that captures their essence looks wonderfully complete, and they animate their look, meaning they bring it to life. On the other hand, even in lines that perfectly match their body type, a person who doesn't dress for their essence will look dull and incomplete. Let's look at an example. Bella Hadid is rumored to be a soft dramatic, a rumor I believe because that's what my analysis of her also found. I also think she has a strong dramatic essence and a lesser romantic essence. While Bella has both the dramatic and romantic essence, one is fundamental, the dramatic, and the other is secondary, the romantic. Because she has a dominant dramatic essence, it is imperative that she dresses to honor it. Otherwise, she just looks off, even if she honors the lesser romantic essence. In these images, Bella looks lost. The fabric is too soft and unconstructed for her strong and dominant bone structure. The dresses look flimsy on her, and overall, these overtly sexy dresses take away from her sexiness. Bella leads with fiercely strong, sexy energy. The power behind that sex appeal comes from her strong, dramatic structure and essence, and without it, she loses herself. In these pictures, she leans not only into romantic lines, which, by the way, don't work for her because although she has a romantic essence, she has a dramatic body type, but she also leans into the romantic essence. The red lip, glamorous jewelry, and ornate hair all create a romantic essence. In each of these, she doesn't quite look like herself, and something is off. In these looks, Bella looks magnificent. Here, I see the dramatic and romantic composition that makes her a soft dramatic. The fabrics are heavier and sharply constructed, which honors her structure. The edges are sharp, which flatters her infinitely more than the dresses we just saw, where the soft fabric pulls to the floor. Her hair is sleek and sharply pulled back in the first two images, and her makeup emphasizes her chiseled bone structure, all of which honor her dominant dramatic essence. Her jewelry is luxurious and bold, and her hair is soft and curved in the third image, all of which honor her less dominant romantic essence. By honoring her dramatic lines and essence first, Bella ensured that these looks had the solid foundation they needed to complement her structure and the power of her presence. Then, by adding the romantic essence touches, she elevated the look to bring it all to life. As a result, she looks stunning. So, what things communicate essence? Essence is elusive, so it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what individual element created. In truth, it's probably a combination of all of them: the style of clothing, the color palette, the hair and makeup, and the choice of accessories. However, Some of these are more fixed than others. For example, the style of clothing is dictated by a person's body type, and the color palette is likely dictated by their color season. So the elements that are left to play with to create or highlight the desired essence are hair, makeup, and the choice of accessories. I call these packaging or tangibles. These tangible elements are the things that anyone can manipulate to recreate a representation of a particular essence. On the right person, it'll come to life and look beautifully natural. On the wrong person, even if it looks beautiful, it will look like a costume. Hair. Hair is communicative. Whether it's tied or loose, sleek or voluminous, polished or unkempt, all of these variations create a different vibe for the person wearing them. Some styles will be more them than others, meaning that some styles will capture their essence better than others. Makeup. Similarly to hair, makeup is a very communicative element of any ensemble. Whether bold or subtle, sharp or blurred, bright or subdued, can create a harmonious look that highlights someone's beauty and essence or one that clashes with it. Accessories. Accessories are fun and dynamic, and they allow for the ultimate expression of a person's essence because of all the options that are available. Not only do they complete a look by stylistically tying it all together, but the shapes, colors, textures, edges, and details of each piece can be used to communicate the essence of the wearer. The second category I call embodiment or intangibles. These intangible elements are the crux of an essence. These pieces come together to animate the packaging, which we just discussed, of a person's embodiment, which is really what we're judging when we talk about their essence. Movement. One way that a person's embodiment of their essence can manifest is in how they generally move, how they pick up and put things down, how they hold them, how they walk, etc. Certain people can be described as gentle, graceful, and poised. This is a particular embodiment. Other people can be described as fun, energetic, and even strong. This is a completely different embodiment. Speech. How a person talks can reveal a lot about them, and particular ways of speaking lend themselves to certain essences. For example, a person can be bold and direct in how they communicate. This is a powerful and perhaps even dominant essence. Or, a person can be light-hearted and almost frivolous in how they communicate. This is a soft and perhaps even flirty essence. And finally, demeanor. A demeanor is all encompassing, but it can also be clearly worn on a person's face, and it's how that person is perceived by most people. This is how a person generally outwardly presents. Some people are intimidating and intense, like this picture of Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. In the character she played, I believe she was embodying the essence of Anna Wintour, which is a very strong, dominant character that people generally fear. Others can be warm and welcoming. Some are mischievous, some are pure and innocent, some are alluring. This picture in the middle is more sexy and alluring, and this picture to the right captures more of a youthful and innocent essence. I'm purposely putting this here so that we can all remember that an essence can't be boiled down to a formula. The truly animating part, that thing that brings a person's essence to life, is not something that I can pinpoint and describe. It's the ever elusive muse. It just is. Some people are just a certain way and other people aren't. You either have a particular essence or you don't. If you do, then embodying that essence and allowing it to shine through will make you your most beautiful because it'll make you your most natural, truest self. If you don't have a particular essence, pretending to have it and trying to embody it will make you your least beautiful because it'll be a cheap imitation of someone else. So, to tie it all up, Even with everything I've described, there is that particular indescribable magic that we each possess, and you just either have it or you don't have it with regards to a particular essence. There are no good essences or bad essences. There's just what's yours and what isn't. Beauty is simply being true to yourself. So, what is the dramatic essence? The dramatic essence can be described as the most powerful representation of feminine energy. This kind of sensuality may come off as intense, intimidating, and even domineering. In the Kibbe world, this is the type made up of pure yang and manifests as long, narrow lines. There is no softness to the structure, everything is taut and angular. The bone structure is long, narrow, and sharp, and the flesh that sits atop it is taut and sinewy. It follows that the essence associated with this type builds on that idea of narrow sharpness. The dramatic essence leads with power and precision. Power captures that part of it that is intense, dominant, and bold. Precision captures the packaging of this essence. Everything that touches and frames them has to be sleek, sculpted, and elongated. Using the criteria set above, the dramatic essence can be distilled as follows. Hair. Dramatic hair is full of, well, drama. It can be edgy and sharp with asymmetric edges, or it can be pulled back and sleek. It can be super long or buzz cut short. Really, anything that is bold and that creates a sense of structure. Elongation is fundamental to the dramatic body type. So, a person with both a dramatic body type and essence, like Tilda Swinton, who, by the way, also has an angelic essence, can pull off a high volume and shaped sides look that adds elongation and edge and weightlessness to her look, making it harmonious. Someone like Zoe Kravitz, who doesn't have the dramatic body type, she is a flamboyant gamine, couldn't pull off the kind of volume that we see here on Tilda Swinton because she lacks the elongation. However, she does have a strong dramatic essence as well as a gamine essence. So notice how amazing the sharp bangs pulled back look on her. The chiseled look is harmonious with her sharp chiseled bone structure, and she looks great. And those very short bangs are a nod to the gamine style and the gamine essence that she also has. Makeup. Dramatic makeup is bold and intense. The eyeliner is sharp and crisp, and so is the lip liner. Everything has to stay within its lines, creating a sharp contrast between the features. Again, the key thing to go for here is power, which can be achieved through a power eye or a power lip or both. For most people with a dramatic essence, the cheekbones tend to be a prominent facial focal point. So the best makeup accentuates this by effectively highlighting and contouring the chiseled cheekbones and the hollow spaces beneath them. Accessories. Dramatic accessories are big, bold, and structurally sound. The boldness may be achieved by patterns. Think of high contrast black and white stripes or textures. Think of something metallic or very smooth and cold, like the clutch bag featured in this collage. Structure is very important for this essence as it communicates power. Think of a bag. Here, the fabric and construction will determine the structure. So the fabric should be stiff and the bag should hold its shape on its own. So no hobo bags, for example. All the edges should be sharp and crisp. Movement. Women who embody this essence have a strong sense of power and dominance to them. So their movements mirror this. Their movements are big. They take up a lot of space and powerful. There is a lot of force behind them. These women and thus their movements are not dainty and delicate. They move with power and in a way that isn't afraid to break things. This is not to say that they physically articulate in what we may consider a masculine way. Rather, it's to say that the power of their movement makes it more deliberate and hypnotic, which is still feminine. Think of a large, sexy feline. You can see this demonstrated in the next section where I discuss dramatic essence icons. Speech. Dramatic speech is direct. It doesn't mince words and it's not afraid of anything. It's not afraid of offending. It's not afraid of standing out. This makes sense when you consider that it comes from a strong voice that knows its power. These women speak with authority and they very naturally tend to be the leaders within groups of people. Dramatic speech doesn't lend itself to small talk. These women say what they mean and mean what they say. They aren't the ones to fill a conversation with pleasantries. For them, words should be used purposefully. As such, there's a natural weight and authority to what they say. Demeanor. The dramatic demeanor is intense. It's powerful and often perceived as intimidating. These girls naturally serve face. That's why they make incredible models. The popularized term resting bee face refers to women whose neutral resting face is not smiley and doesn't project warmth, which can describe the dramatic demeanor. So they may come off as cold or as quote unquote ice queens. On the negative side, the dramatic essence can very easily be misunderstood and be typecast as mean girl energy. Because people are naturally intimidated by this essence, it's easy to create a boogeyman of the people who lead with it. This has nothing to do with their personality, it's just the vibe they project. So, what sort of woman does this create? These are the type of women who dominate any room they walk into. They are deeply magnetic, but in a powerful and almost intimidating way. Their sexiness is not girly or flirty, it's much more intense. These are the women that men and women are afraid to approach. Like I said, there's something innately intimidating about them, and it's their embodied power. When she's correctly wrapped in structured and bold packaging, it becomes apparent that this is a woman who is meant to be in power. Now let's discuss some dramatic essence icons. The high fashion runway is a great example of the outward representation of the dramatic essence woman. The supermodels who stand out and are memorable even decades after their prime are often the ones who embody this dramatic essence. They walk with power and they seduce you with their intensity. Two modern examples of women who embody this are iconic 90s models Naomi Campbell and a darling of the 2010s, Karlie Kloss. First, Naomi. It's difficult to think of a model who dominated the industry more during her prime than Naomi Campbell. The term supermodel is correct. That walk is iconic, and her entire attitude is the epitome of the seductive intensity of the dramatic essence. When I think of power and dominance on the runway, I think of Naomi Campbell. Her general attitude on the runway seemed to be, I own this and nobody else exists while I'm here. And she was right. The key component of that attitude is confidence. She knows she's all that and more. It's clear in the way that she moves, how she looks at the camera, how she poses, and of course, how she walks. She is strong and powerful and magnetic. Everything she does pulls your attention towards her and seduces you. In all three of these gifts, I'm deeply aware of Naomi's physicality. She is a physically powerful and striking woman. She's a verified flamboyant natural type, meaning she has height and width, and a very obvious athletic build. But her essence is all dramatic. For me, this physical power marries perfectly with the power of her essence, and it makes her lethal. It gives her that cooler than you vibe that she has always had. When Naomi walks, I want to see her be better than everyone else. She was made for it. She was made to slay the competition. This is part of the dramatic essence. It doesn't share the spotlight, it owns it. It boldly stands out and dominates the atmosphere. It is intensely powerful. And now, Karlie Kloss. By the time Karlie came into her prime, The era of the supermodel had passed. Still, she had the kind of presence and power that marked the supermodels who came before her. Her panther walk is mesmerizing and in every way captures the sleek, sexy power of a panther. I can't think of a better way to describe the dramatic essence. I couldn't find gifs that capture her walk or her movement, but um, I think we can see, even from these still photos, just how she embodies that space and how she takes up that power, these power moves with her arm behind her head, the sharp edges that that creates with her elbow. It's also sleek, it's also sculptured, and there is simple power behind it, even in her face in the middle. You can tell that she's no delicate flower, and there's power and intensity behind that face. Karlie Kloss was made to walk down a runway. If you've never seen her do it, I highly recommend a quick YouTube video. However, I don't recommend you watch her Victoria's Secret compilations. Not because I have anything against Victoria's Secret, well, but anyway, really it's because I strongly feel that those walks are not her best. Karlie is a high fashion model. That is where she and her essence truly shine. Victoria's Secret is a highly feminine lingerie line. All that frilly lace and chiffon and girly sets are the direct opposite of her best dramatic recommendations. She's not overtly sexy in a feminine way like women who embody a romantic essence are. And Victoria's Secret also often leans into the gamine, fun, and even the ingenue essence, none of which Karlie has. For this reason, I've always found her Victoria's Secret walks and the outfits she wears to be rather awkward because that romantic setting juxtaposes against her and her essence. Karlie is more, as I've been droning on about, she's more intensely sexy. She commands the runway and projects such power into every step. Her high fashion work lends itself better to showcasing her at her best. And at her best, you can't take your eyes off her. Think of the campaign she did for Carolina Herrera, I believe, the last image to the right, that perfume with the shoe bottle. I can see it in my mind. She walks with such power and intensity, and all that sexiness and just fierceness is encapsulated so well in that ad. And that is a dramatic essence. What does the dramatic essence look like? Let's consider some celebrity examples. While each of these women has a different Kibbe type, what they have in common is a dramatic essence. Remember that essence doesn't have a body type. So even though Bella Hadid is a soft dramatic, allegedly, Hailey Bieber is a flamboyant natural, I believe, and Zoe Kravitz is a flamboyant gamine, they all have a dramatic essence. They have in common that they look their best when their hair is sleek and sharply styled, when their makeup is crisp and intense, and when their accessories are structured and bold. In short, they look their best when they look sculpted, because this honors their dramatic essence. I believe that true essence is more important than body type essence. It's important to identify your essence or essences because honoring them matters just as much, if not more, than honoring your body type lines. A huge mistake would be to assume that your body type dictates your essence, meaning that if you're a natural body type, then you must have a natural essence. Case in point, Hailey Bieber. I believe Hailey is a flamboyant natural. I've done an analysis on her that you can read on my blog or watch in the body type series. Either way, she has a strong dramatic essence. I think this is why she's often typed as a dramatic. But dramatic lines aren't her best. Again, read my analysis or watch that video. If she assumed that she had a natural essence and did her makeup in a natural way, like the no makeup look that is incredible for naturals, and that I woke up like this beach wave hair that is again incredible for naturals, she would not look like her best, or she would look less like herself. In the first two images, the loose wavy hair takes something away from Haley, and she looks a little bit unkempt. When she sleeks her hair back all the way to the right, and her bone structure suddenly comes to focus, she comes to life. So make sure that you know your essences so you can style your hair, makeup, and accessories to honor them. This will bring out your best you. If you don't honor them, even if you nail the body type lines, you'll still look incomplete and somewhat dull. Essence can be difficult to define because it is so intangible. I hope this post has helped decipher what the dramatic essence is and how it manifests in the people who have it. As we dive deeper into these essence analysis, I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss the following. Sensuality does not equal femininity. I think we have come to incorrectly associate femininity with a particular look because of how it's often portrayed and sold to us. I think this is the reason why so many women shy away from the more quote unquote masculine body types in Kibbe, and certainly from the associated essences. There's this belief that falling into one of these categories takes away from your femininity, but this is simply not true. Femininity does not have a body type or favorite essence. Femininity is simply the way of being for any woman in her true power. This is true in body types. Dramatic women look their most feminine when they honor their lines and lean into their masculine recommendations. As far as essences, I want to make clear that what I discuss here is a very superficial representation of what it means to be feminine. I can talk about movements, clothing, demeanors, and general ways of being that are more or less feminine as compared to others, but that, in and of itself, is not femininity. Femininity, as I understand it, transcends these classifications. It exists for all of us, and it is clearly visible, embodied by incredible women who fall into every category of body type and essence. And I hope this series hopes to highlight that. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you liked the video and that you learned something from it. If you did, let me know in the comments below. In fact, please do all the things. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on your notifications. If you like this kind of content and want to read more before the next video, hop on over to my website where I have tons of posts for you to read through. Otherwise, from me, none, big love, and I'll see you on the next one.